Luke chapter 23. Jesus is charged before Pilate. The crucifixion of Jesus, etc. At this point, the whole crowd arose and took Jesus to Pilate. And they brought many accusations against Jesus. We observe this man corrupting and misleading our nation, obstructing the payment of taxes to Caesar, while claiming that he is the Christ, a monarch. Now, Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the monarch of the Jews?" And Jesus replied, "You say so." Then Pilate told the leading priests and the throngs, "I find this man blameless, without any flaw." But they were excited and became more aggressive, saying, "This man incites the nation. His teachings bring provocation and unrest among the people throughout Judea. He started from Galilee, and here he is." When Pilate considered Galilee, he asked, "Is this man a citizen of Galilee?" Once he discovered that Jesus was from the jurisdiction governed by Herod, he dispatched him to Herod. And Herod was in Jerusalem at the time. Herod was quite delighted to meet Jesus, for he had been longing for long to meet him. He had received much information about Jesus and the wonderful things he had done. Herod had hoped that Jesus would perform some miracle before him. So he asked Jesus a large number of questions, but Jesus did not respond. He remained silent. The leading priests and the authorities of the law rose up and pressed serious charges against Jesus. Then Herod, with his security advisors and combat troops, derided Jesus and scorned him. They robed him in pretty apparel and dispatched him back to Pilate. That same day, Herod and Pilate became good friends. Previously, they had been foes. Now Pilate summoned the leading priests, the heads, and the people. And he told them, "You led this man to me and charged that he was corrupting and misleading the nation. At this point, I have investigated and do not conclude a thorough observation on this case here before you. In my judgment, he is not guilty of any of the crimes you have charged him with. And my judgment of not guilty is consistent with Herod, for Herod only brought him back to us. Now, nothing deserving capital punishment has been done by this man. I will therefore have him lashed and set free." At every Passover festival, it was somewhat essential for Pilate to set free one captive to them. And the vast throng roared, "Destroy him! Destroy him! And release Barabbas to us." Now Barabbas had been incarcerated for an unrest and revolt in the city, and also for killing. Surely Pilate wanted to release Jesus, and so he appealed to the masses one more time. But they only roared, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" And Pilate addressed them the third time. "Why? What offense has he committed?" I find no reason for capital punishment. In this case, I will therefore have him lashed and let go. But they continued yelling and yelping that Jesus should be taken away and crucified. Ultimately, the roars of these men and of their leading priests thrived. So Pilate awarded sentence in accordance with the requests of the priests and people. And Pilate let go to them Barabbas, whom they asked for, who for revolt and killing had been imprisoned. And he gave Jesus back to those who brought him, that they might do as they pleased. And so the combat forces led Jesus away. As they proceeded, they met a traveler called Simon, who was a citizen of Cyrene. Simon was journeying from the country area. They caught him and forced him to carry the cross after Jesus. A vast multitude thronged after him. Some women were also weeping and lamenting the horror. Jesus saw them weeping after him, and he turned to comfort them, saying, O daughters of the holy city of Jerusalem, weep not for me, only for yourselves and for your offspring. For behold, the days are fast approaching, in which many will say, how blessed are the women who never had offspring, wombs that never bore, and breasts which never nourished. At that time, many will tell the great mountains, fall upon us, and the hills, conceal us. For if the people act like this amidst the greeneries, what will they do when the woods are dry? Furthermore, there were two other men found guilty of committing various crimes, who were led along to take the capital punishment with Jesus. And when they reached the place known as Calvary, they crucified Jesus. And the two condemned offenders right there, one man on his right hand, and the other on his left. At that point, Jesus said, Father, please pardon them, for they do not know the consequences of what they are doing. And they shared his robes by casting lots. Many people stood there looking at the horror, but the Jewish authorities sneered at him. He saved other people, they said. Let him now save himself, if he is truly the Christ, whom the Lord God has chosen. And the troops teased Jesus likewise. They approached him and offered him sour wine. And they told Jesus, if you are truly the monarch of the Jews, save yourself. These words were inscribed on the cross above Jesus in Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. This is the monarch of the Jews. One of the offenders, suffering on the cross, spoke offensively to Jesus, saying, if you are truly the Christ, save yourself now, and save us also. But the other offender promptly reproved him, saying, do you not fear the Lord God? You have received precisely the same judgment. And we, in fact, correctly. For we are being penalized for our misdeeds. But this man has done absolutely no wrong. And he appealed to Jesus, saying, Lord, please remember me when you enter into your monarchy to reign forever. And Jesus told him, truly, I tell you, this very day you will join me in paradise. At this time it was just about the 6th hour, and darkness covered the whole world until approximately the 9th hour. At this point, the brilliance of the sun disappeared, and it completely darkened, and the veil hanging in the temple was ripped into two parts. And Jesus wailed with a resounding voice and then said, "Father, in your hands I rest my spirit." After saying these words, he departed. The centurion witnessed everything that happened, and he gave glory and praise to God, saying, "Surely this was a decent man of impeccable character." And the great throng that assembled, having witnessed everything that had been done, beat their breasts in grief and left. But all the companions of Jesus and all his well-wishers and the women who followed from Galilee stood in the area, not very far away, clearly observing everything. There was one man called Joseph, a member of the council. He was a decent man and also quite righteous. Joseph opposed the council's judgments and actions against Jesus. Originally, Joseph was from Arimathea, a Jewish city. He was also faithful, looking forward to the monarchy of the Lord God. Joseph proceeded to Pilate and requested for the body of Jesus. Then he took the body of Jesus down from the cross, wrapped it in decent linen, and placed it in a sepulchre which had been hewn out of solid rock, and wherein no man had ever rested in the past. That day was Friday, the preparation, and the Sabbath was just about to commence. And the women who had followed Jesus right from Galilee went to Joseph to inspect the sepulchre and how the body of Jesus was rested in it. Then they returned home and prepared nice spices and perfumes for the body of Jesus. And they rested on the Sabbath day in accordance with the commandment.